Hey guys, okay, so let's get started on this study guide. I'll try to be as efficient as possible. The first thing it says is find the volume of the cylinder below. And this is a prism, so that means it has two bases. All right, and you're going to need to find the volume. You're going to need to find the base, the big base, the area of the base, and multiply it by the height. So your area of the base is going to be pi times your radius squared because it's a circle. Well, my radius is 7 because my diameter is 14. So I would do big B equals 7 squared times pi, all right, which equals 49 pi. And now I need to multiply it by my height. So 49 pi times 18, I would get 882 pi units cubed. Okay, for number 2, it's a little bit different. It's a cone, all right? So your volume is going to be equal to big B, the area of your base, times your height, but this time divided by 3. All right, so my radius here is 9. Again, it's a circle, right? So big B is going to be equal to pi times my radius, which is 9 squared. That's going to equal 81 pi. All right. Well, now I'm going to need to multiply it by my height. So volume is going to be equal to 81 pi times my height, which is 14, and divided by 3. That's going to give me 1,134 pi, and then I'm going to divide that by 3. And I'll get my volume is 378 pi centimeters cubed. Okay, this one again. I recommend shading in your bases. All right, this would be a base, and this would be a base right here. And my height, the distance between these two bases, would be 23. So for big B, I'm going to do 8 times 14, and I'm going to get 100. Whoops, sorry, I did that wrong. Let me just 8 times 14 and get 112. And I'm going to multiply that by 23, my height, because volume of a prism is big B, the area of your base, times your height. So big B was 112, and my height is 23. When I multiply those together, I get 2,576 centimeters cubed. All right, let's move to the next problem. This time, I have a triangular prism, and I know this one is kind of hard for you guys to see because it flips a little bit. So what I would recommend doing is go ahead and shading your bases. Like I've been saying before, shading them, that way you'll know, hey, there's my base, and then this right here, this is the distance between my two bases, my heights. So this is going to be volume equals big B times my height. Well, big B here is a little bit different because it's a triangle. So you're going to do base times height divided by 2, which is going to be 9 times 7.6, and divide that by 2. All right, when you get that, you will get 34.2. So now I'm going to take big B, 34.2, and I'm going to multiply it by my height, the distance between the two, times 13. And that will give me 444.6 feet cubed when I multiply the two together. And that's my answer. Thank you. 0.6 feet cubed. Okay. Don't forget, the units are super important in this test. You don't want to lose any unnecessary points. All right, well, my bases here are a trapezoid. All right, a trapezoid here and a trapezoid there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and redraw the trapezoid for you guys to hopefully help it make sense. All right, and the area of a trapezoid, because remember, big B is what I need to find, and that's going to be B1 plus B2 divided by 2, but also times your height. So, this is 11, this is 8. These would be your right angles. So, in order to find big B, I'm going to do 19 plus 24, and then times 8, and divide it by 2. All right, that will give me 344 over 2, which simplifies down to 172. Well, it wants me to find the volume. So now that I've found the area of the base, my volume is equal to big B times my height. Well, big B is 172, and my height is the distance between these two bases, which is 21. When I multiply those two together, I get 3,612 meters cubed. Okay, let's look down here. Volume of a pyramid. So again, volume of a pyramid is your big B, the area of your base, times your height, divided by 3. Okay, so to find big B, I'm going to do 12 times 12, and I'm going to get 144. I'm going to take 144, I'm going to multiply it by my height, 9.1, and then divide it by 3. All right, so when I multiply those two together, I end up with 310.4 and divide it by 3. Then I end up with 436.8 centimeters cubed. All right, area of my base times my height divided by 3. Right down here at number 7, things get a little tricky. If you notice, this is an equilateral triangle. All right, that means all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal to 60 degrees. All right, well, for this pyramid, for volume, you need big B times your height divided by 3. All right, well, big B, I need to be able to find the area of my base, which is all right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find my height. I'm going to cut through here, and I'm going to create a special right triangle. And I would have a 30, a 60, and a 90. This would be n, this would be 2n, and this would be n rad 3. This would be 2n, and this would be n rad 3. My bad. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, I know the side is equal to 8, right? Because it's an equilateral triangle. I know that this side is equal to 8. So that means I know that n would be equal to 4. If 2n equals 8, I would divide by 2 and divide by 2 and get n equals 4. So now I know this side is 4, and if this side is n rad 3, this side would be 4 rad 3. Hey guys, that's my height, right? So in order to find big B, I'm going to take my base, which was 8, right? And it has to be perpendicular to your height, what we just found, 4 rad 3, and then it's a triangle. I'm going to divide it by 2. 8 times 4 is 32 rad 3, divided by 2 is going to be 16 rad 3. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to actually take this number and multiply it by my height. So I'm not going to make you guys work with radicals right this moment. So if you'd rather convert it to a decimal and do 27.71, I'm fine with that. So now we're going to take the area of our base, and let's just do 27.71, and we need to multiply it by our height, which is 11. And then we're going to divide that by 3. When we do that, we should get 101.6 meters cubed. And that's that problem. All right, so here we have a classroom globe that has a diameter of 34 inches. So 34 inches. Its radius then would be 17, half of the diameter. What's the volume of the globe? All right, so volume of a sphere is going to be 4 times pi times my radius cubed divided by 3. I'm going to take that radius and I'm going to cube it. So I'm going to have 4 times pi times 17 cubed, all divided by 3. All right, well that's going to be 4 pi times 17 cubed, which is going to be 4,913. All right, all over 3. I'm going to multiply those two and get 18,452 pi and divide it by 3. And then my final answer will be 6,550.67 pi inches cubed. Okay, so now they're telling me that the volume of a cylinder is equal to 2,016 pi centimeters cubed, and the radius is equal to 12 centimeters squared. All right, it wants me to find the height of the cylinder. Well, the volume for a cylinder is B times height, big B times height, but big B is a little different here. Because it's a cylinder, it's going to be pi times your radius squared, then times your height. So I'm going to use this formula because big B is pi times your radius squared. All right, so I know that my volume is 2,016. I'm going to set it equal to 2,016 pi. And I'm going to set it equal to pi times my radius squared times my height. I'm setting it equal to that formula. This is the formula, so I'm taking volume, 2,016 pi, and setting it equal to the formula for volume. All right, then I'm going to have 2016 pi equals 144 pi times my height. I squared 12. That's where this 144 came from. Now I'm going to divide by 144 pi and divide by 144 pi. And I'm going to get 14 equals my height. All right, so my height, I get to write as 14 centimeters. Okay, my suggestion for this one is this would be a figure 1, this would be figure 2. I want to find the volume of figure 1. I'm going to go ahead, and what it tells me is that the first candle has a radius equal to 10 and a height of 18. The second candle is 9 centimeters taller, so that means I'm going to take 18 and add 9 and get 27. So I know the height of this one is 27. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and figure out the volume of my first candle here. All right, and remember, it's big B times my height. Well, big B is going to be equal to pi times 10 squared and then times my height, which is 18. So my volume is going to be equal to 100 pi times 18, which will simplify down to 1,800 pi. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and find the volume for my second candle. Again, volume equals big B times my height. My big B is going to be the same type of thing, pi times my radius, which was 10 squared, and then times my height, which is 27 this time. So I'm going to have 100 pi times 27, and I'm going to end up with a volume of 2,700 pi. 2,700 pi. And now I'm going to subtract these two because I need to figure out the difference, what I'm going to need. So I'm going to take the volume of one, 2,700 pi, and minus volume of the second one, 1,800 pi. And I will end up with the additional wax that I'm going to need, and that's 900 pi centimeters cubed. All right, guys, we're almost done. Find the volume of this figure below. Whew, this question is a doozy. All right, again, go ahead and divide them into two figures. The one I'm going to do first is this cylinder on the bottom, number 2, because it's just a little bit more straightforward. All right, it's going to be big B times my height. That's going to equal my volume. All right, big B is going to be my radius squared times pi. All right, so my radius for this figure is going to be 10. So for big B, I'm going to have 10 squared times pi, and then I'll multiply it. Well, that'll give me 100 pi. So big B equals 100 pi. Now for the volume, I'm going to need to do 100 pi and multiply it by the height, which is 6. So my volume for this larger cylinder down here is going to be 600 pi feet cubed. All right, now I need to figure out the volume for number 1. Okay, so volume of a cone is equal to big B times your height divided by 3. So in order to find big B, I need to figure out what my radius is, and I know that all the way across is 20. All right, and I know right here is 3 because this side is 3. So I'm going to do 20 minus 6, sorry, and I'm going to get 14. So from here to here is 14. Your diameter would be 14. You need to divide this 14 by 2, and that would give you 7. So your radius, you now know, is 7. Okay, so my radius is 7. I need to figure out what in the world my height is. So my height is going to be right here. All right, well that brings us to a dilemma because I have a right triangle. I know this is 8. I now know this is 7, and this is x. I need to use the Pythagorean Theorem. So x squared plus 7 squared equals 8 squared. X squared plus 49 equals 64. And then I'm going to subtract and get, oops, that's x squared. X squared equals 15. And then I will take the square root and take the square root, and x equals 3.87. All right, so that's my height. Now I need to figure out what in the world the area of my base is. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and figure out what my big B, my big B. I haven't figured that out. Okay, so big B, sorry guys, I just got a little lost right here. It's going to be equal to pi times my radius squared. Well, I already know my radius is 7. So this is going to be pi times 7 squared, which will be 49 pi. All right, and now I get to multiply 49 pi by, for my volume, 49 pi times 3.87. And then I'm going to divide by 3. All right. That is going to give me 189.63 divided by 3. All right, my volume will be 63.21 pi, and then I'm going to take that, so I have the volume of this figure, and I have the volume of this figure, and I'm going to add them together. All right, so 600 plus 63.2, remember pi, and I will end up with 663.21 pi feet cubed. It's a long problem. Okay, so for this, you can pick 27 and put it over 6, or you can pick 18 and put it over 4. All right, I'm just going to do 18 over 4. All right, but then reduce it. They both go into 2, so it's going to be 9 over 2. All right, so your simple scale factor is simply going to be 9 over 2. Don't forget when we're trying to do surface area, though, we have to take that 9 over 2 and we have to square it. So we end up with 81 over 4. So that's 81 over 4 is our ratio for surface area. Volume, we have to cube. So we're going to take 9 and cube it and 2 and cube it. And we get that, we will get 729 over 8. 729 over 8. Okay, so this one, not as hard as you're probably thinking. If the scale factor of two similar cones is 8 to 7, what is the surface area ratio and the volume area ratio? Well, don't forget surface area ratio, we square, and volume ratio, we cube. So we're going to take 8 to 7. For surface area, we're going to square it, 8 over 7, which is going to equal 64 over 49. And for volume, we're going to cube it, 8 over 7, and we're going to get 512 to 343. All right. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I just don't want this to be too long. Okay, solid A is similar to solid B. I'm going to see if I can't get this whole. Solid A is similar to solid B. If the surface area of solid A is 80 inches and the surface area of solid B is 245, find the volume of solid A if the volume of solid B is 1029. All right, so what you're going to do here is the first thing you want to do is find the scale factor. All right, so I'm going to reduce. And I'm going to end up with 16 over 49. And then to find the scale factor, because this was given to me as surface area, I need to take the square root. Whoops. So find the scale factor, reduce, take square root. That's going to give me 4 over 7. So my scale factor is 4 over 2. The next thing I need to do is find my volume ratio. So I'm going to take 4 over 7 and I'm going to cube it. That's going to give me 64 over 343. Okay. And then I'm going to set it up as a proportion and solve. All right, so 64 over 343 equals x, remember I'm trying to find the volume of solid A, which we had on top, over 1029. All right, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to get 65,856 equals 343x. Divide by 343, divide by 343. X is going to equal 192. So the volume of A is going to be 192 millimeters cubed. And that's it. That's your video. Hope it helps, guys.